Welcome everybody back to the channel where I talk about my life and my journey, creating a business, creating a brand, and specifically on this episode, walking through exactly the lessons I learned at 24 years old, having to start over and do things a little bit differently. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Do it, dream big, dream above and beyond. Don't just dream for the average and dream for the normal. Make sure that you're looking for big goals. So, like I said in the preview, this episode is just kind of walk you through exactly what this year has looked like for me as a 24-year-old having to start over. So, taking you back just a little bit, I was in Miami end of last year, in a sales position, working for a multi-billionaire, just having a great opportunity to just make more money and being exposed to not only the Miami lifestyle, but just being exposed to the business world and having great connections. Now, along with this, things didn't work out obviously along the way, having to get fired from that job, having to figure out what I need to do from there, because at the time I was in an Airbnb, I wasn't in a permanent house or permanent residence, so I was on borrowed time. Made a good amount of money while I was there, but obviously money doesn't last long in Miami. At least the money I made, it didn't stretch that far. So working on borrowed time, I was staying in Airbnb, for the next month and a half after I left that job. I had to figure out a way to make money so that I'm not just sitting there, with decreasing bank accounts. So for me, I had to figure out the quickest way I can to make money, which for me at the time was sales. Being able to use my resources for what I had to make something out of nothing. So I leaned back on my, skills or my old profession and just started pitching marketing services, going to different businesses, local businesses in the area, people I can shake hands with, look them eye to eye, just because they know I'm a real person at the moment, and just being able to just sell myself, to pitch myself and see if there's any possible way to get some type of income while I'm down there, whether it be something little or something large. At the time, I was desperate, right? What are you gonna do? So I started talking to martial arts gyms, started talking to gymnastics gyms, anything athletic wise I was pitching my services for, because that's just what I know. That's what I know best, exercise, athletics. Long story short, met up with a guy, obviously, martial arts gym, started talking to him, things were going a little well, but things were moving fast enough to a point where I can sustain that lifestyle in Miami. Worst case scenario, I would have lived in my car and tried to put things out, but family convinced me to come back, which I was honestly grateful for. So, drove back a couple months afterwards, back to North Carolina, where my family graciously took me back in, and I'm very appreciative of that. And spent the next few months, I tried to hit the ground running as fast as I can. I'm not a person that sits still and do nothing and just wait for something to happen. I have to make something happen. So I'm constantly searching jobs, constantly looking for, what the next opportunity is. What can I do? How can I get some money in? Because A, I don't want to be living at home with my family. B, 24 years old. In my head, I'm on a timeline. I need to make something happen now, because if not, I'm a failure. At least that's what my head I'm thinking. But, I'm running through, trying to find different jobs, trying to see exactly what I can do. And for the longest time, I was trying to avoid my martial arts school, which everybody know where I left at, or anybody that's from this city, honestly. I was trying to avoid them for reasons at the moment, or at that time, I didn't really know. But looking back at it now, it was mostly, just pride. Not wanting to face people and see exactly, or have them look at you like you failed or just didn't achieve what you want to achieve. And for me, that sucked. And so I avoided that for a couple months, but by the end of it, I was tired of being at home, tired of getting no results, getting nowhere. And so I leveraged what all my mentors say. When you're in a tight spot, give. Give first, give just give as much as you can without asking for anything in return, and eventually it will start compounding, and you get something out of it. So for me, I tucked my pride away. I went back to martial arts, started assisting, helping out where I could, asking my family for help, for money whenever I could, and just doing that for as long as I could, while obviously trying to make new opportunities with social media and trying to build a fitness brand overall. So fast forward 10 months later of doing that, I'm still looking for jobs, still looking for resources, and after talking with my instructor in martial arts and one of the successful individuals there, they were able to give me an opportunity. And so fast forward 10 months later, I was able to get a job, start a clothing brand, as you guys can see, and just slowly making headway to starting back over again. So long story, my apologies. But question is, what did I learn along those 10 months? What would I take away from being broke to barely being able to eat food, to have my car towed a couple of times while in Miami? What did I take away from that? First, I would say, don't take opportunities for granted. We get presented with opportunities multiple times in our lifetimes, some once in a life, some 10. Don't take opportunities for granted. Obviously we get presented with opportunities multiple times in our life, some once in a lifetime, some twice in a lifetime, some you get 10 times. But at the end of the day, none of them are forever. None of them are gonna last forever, and it's your job just to take full advantage of the opportunities that do present themselves. So for me, that was one of the things I did learn from this year. The next I would say is just the grass only looks greener from the other side because you're looking at a distance. You look at other people's situation, it looks great on the outside, but once you get to really see what's going on and take a look under the hood and just get an idea of what's actually happening, things aren't as pretty as they seem. There's a lot of things that you don't get to see from the outside that when you do, you're glad that you're in your situation. And so that's definitely one of the things I did appreciate throughout these 10 months is reaching back out to people, learning what they're actually doing. And a couple months ago, if you asked me, I was like, oh man, I'm jealous of them. They look great, they're doing great, which I was happy for, but it was also a little bit jealous, a little bit envy. But fast forward a couple months after, well, yeah, start to learn little things, start to talk to them a little deeper, and just be grateful for the situation that you're in, right? Honestly, lastly, I would just say excuses are the quickest way to be broke. I've spoken to a lot of people along the way, and while I was in a very not comfortable spot, you hear people start to complain and make excuses when you're in a worse position than them, and all you can do is smile and try to make things happen and be positive. But if I was to be negative and only focus on the thing that isn't working, nothing would have ever happened. Even if it took a while, even if it took a couple weeks, a couple months, I'm gonna keep pushing. I gotta keep doing what I gotta do, because if I did nothing but complain, nothing ever would happen, and I can't take that chance. So, between those three things throughout this year, I would say one of the honest to God, wholehearted, biggest lessons I've learned, I can't even put it into words, but to express it, I would just say that life humbled me a lot. 12 months of straight humility and understanding of who I am as a person, because before in the year 2023, I was Kason, the martial artist, instructor, just doing everything I can, social media. I felt like the guy. I wasn't the guy, but I felt like the guy. You got reputation, you got friends, you got family, you got a lot of resources. But you step away into an unknown world and you take away the money, you take away the friends, the family, the opportunities, and you're just stuck with yourself, the belt, the reputation. The only thing you have is you. So over these past months, year, it forced me to figure out who I was without all that. What do I want? Who am I? Why does the world need to care about me? Why should they care about me? What do I bring to the world or other people's lives that honestly they should take 2 seconds out of their life to even pay attention to what I'm doing. And for the most part, people didn't. They didn't care. They didn't want to understand what position I was in or what I was doing or why my life sucked at the moment. And I couldn't expect them to. You know, they didn't know me, I didn't know them, and you know, that's not their responsibility, it's mine. And so, you know, months in, obviously, not only the loss of confidence that goes into things, but you just understand that all you got is you. You know, for me, that was not wanting to break my pride and go back to people who saw me leave and not wanting to come back as a failure. Just a lot of little things that stacked up and just made it very difficult, very hard to feel like a person. But long story short, I'm making it back. We're slowly making headway, doing things a little bit differently, you know, staying focused, staying attentive, making things happen, and working now, starting a brand now, taking the lessons that I've learned from this year and just trying to make something happen out of it. So hopefully this helps you. If you're in a bad situation, just know that it will get better as long as you keep working, keep pushing towards it. You know, if this helps you, please like the video. If you know somebody else in the situation and things are gonna get better for them, share this with them. But other than that, I know this wasn't the most entertaining video, but hopefully, you know, when you see this later on, you can understand exactly where I was at this lovely stage of my life. So thank you, love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.